Hello everyone and welcome to AWK Plays Pokemon Leaf Green. And in case you hadn't guessed, the reason it's AWK Plays and not me, I'm a Skeptical Gamer by the way, is because I have two special guests. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Andy.
Oh, it's my turn, isn't it?
Yes, it's your turn.
Yeah, I'm Kai.
In case you hadn't worked it out yet, if you take A, W, because I'm called Will, in case you didn't realise, and K, it makes AWK.
Word.
And also A for Andy. It's most important, so it goes first.
Excellent.
Keep that in mind.
Good input.
Doesn't make me sad.
Everything makes you sad.
That is very true. Anyway, we are three very experienced players of Pokemon.
Don't joke.
If it's anything to be proud of, I'm not sure it
Nothing
is.
to be proud of.
Proud of at all. But we're here to bring you something slightly less serious than my Leaf Green playthrough.
Andy's green playthrough. You mean your Golden Sun
You mean,
playthrough?
I do mean my Golden Sun playthrough. Thank you for that. Andy's on the ball. Something slightly less serious than my Golden Sun playthrough, but still with a bit of interesting sort of trivia and some facts about Pokemon. Hopefully it'll get you a bit more interested in sort of the underlying layers of it. Anyway, we have to name our character. You have no idea how long we spent trying to figure out names. We're going to call our character Orc.
Word.
Thank you, Andy. The joke's start already. Yes, my name. This is my grandson. Right, we had even more trouble thinking of a name for this guy.
Personally, I wanted to go with Derp.
Is this because Kai is 7 and unimaginative?
No, I've just been around the block too many times.
Fuel tab. Oh, no, I'm not going to sing. I refuse to sing. So we're going to call him Jackash. Because I think it's funny and it's my channel.
Yeah, that was the overlying fact.
Pretty much was. Our very own Pokemon legend is about to unfold.
Was that my... I don't have that many things to count.
Yeah. Okay, it's time to go. We played the NES. So, as always, I think since there's only ever been one generation where you couldn't get a potion from the PC, this isn't one of them. Or this isn't the one. Grab your potion. Free 20 HP. Lovely. So...
Yeah, you probably need it against Gary.
Jackash, please.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think pretty much everyone knows how Pokemon works, but if you don't, it's another... making habit of turn-based RPGs on this channel. Another turn-based RPG, which you collect various different monsters, creatures, Pokemon, whatever you want to call them.
Creatures.
Well, they are technically creatures. And basically you make them fight to the death. It's great fun.
Fight to the death. I thought this was supposed to be supposed to appeal to a younger audience, potentially.
Pokemon is a 3+ game, okay?
To start rolling in like... Finish him.
Finish.
Rage quit.
Babality.
Fatality.
Also, I've just realised I've forgotten to turn up the text speed. That's really depressing.
Nice. Well, at least it means they can read it.
Oh,
They
really?
want to.
This is what it's come to, insulting my... Oh, I should never invited you on.
Great idea.
Yeah, okay, so we get to choose our starter Pokemon. Now, to do a bit of explaining about how this LP is going to work, because obviously there are 3 of us and only 1 copy of the game, we've each chosen 2 Pokemon to go in the team, predetermined, and I've taken, because it's only fair, I've taken the starter and 1 other, and Andy and Kai each have 2 of their own. And we tried to make a team, sort of plan out a team that's going to be fairly balanced, and again, no, generally we have. He's just laughing because he's a prat. So basically it's fairly balanced, and that'll let us actually explain some of the various little minutiae, good word there.
Yeah, but
No one will ever understand the time it took us to plan out this.
I think we should let them in on just why it took us so long was that we weren't allowed to pick anything that we hadn't already used, which turns out to be most of the Pokédex. Some of the decent ones we couldn't use, probably because they had evolutions that required trading.
Yeah, that's true. We are playing this on an emulator, in case you hadn't guessed. Yeah, and also the setup for us to... Oh, we should get some progress. The setup is... How long it's taken us to get to this stage is unbelievable. Anyway, there's one part of this LP, which is actually going to be fairly serious, is we're going to do some explaining and some analysis of the different Pokemon we can run into. So, Bulbasaur. Well, I'll explain Bulbasaur. Actually, no, because this isn't the one I'm choosing. So, Kai, you explain Bulbasaur very briefly. Go.
It's basically a moving plant. That's about it.
Any insight on it as a Pokemon rather than just as an entity?
Well, let's be honest. Everyone knows that Charmander is the way forward. But Bulbasaur can be reliable, but is most often than not just terrible.
Wow. Basically, any of the starters you pick at the start will pretty much sweep the first, half of the game. So it doesn't really matter. Bulbasaur is, like most grass types, fairly slow and tends to deal in status moves, so it'll inflict sleep or poison or paralysis on your opponent, rather than just being a full-out powerhouse. It's kind of hindered by the fact that it's very slow, so it can be a bit a bit awkward because you can end up getting hit by one of its many weaknesses because it is it's a grass poison type, which gives it quite a few weaknesses. It's not the best typing in the world, but I mean, quite frankly, the starters are all pretty decent Pokemon, but we're not going to choose Bulbasaur. Andy, tell us about Squirtle.
Squirtle is a short-tailed bipedal.
Oh, don't be that.
Really? Don't be that person.
Well, it's the water Pokemon of the three that you can get at the beginning. It's a shell.
Well done. It is based on a turtle. Well done. Am I really going to have to do all the explaining here?
But it's because it's not Mudkip, so no one really cares.
I never cared for Mudkip.
Squirtle is pretty good. It's very defensive, but it will get some decent moves, and...
Also evolves into Blastoise, which has those cannon things, which is pretty solid.
Thank you, Andy, for that excellent insight.
The aesthetic just...
It's aesthetic.
Oh.
Eventually it'll be aesthetically pleasing. And finally we have Charmander. Now, Charmander has a bit of a problem. It's not as easy to use as the other two early game because of some of the types you'll be coming up against, but ultimately it is probably the biggest powerhouse. It's a fire type and eventually gets a second type, which makes it excellent. Learns powerful moves. It has great stats, high special attack, high attack, decent speed. Charmander it's a very all-round Pokemon. I mean, they all are, but of the three of them, I think my favourite is Squirtle, but I will admit the best is probably Charmander. And for the purposes of this playthrough, we're going to be using Charmander.
Because we don't want to make it difficult for ourselves.
Pretty much. We're just really
I
depressed.
don't know, our other choices are going to make this really difficult.
That's excellent. Anyway, this one is really energetic, and I received the Charmander. Do you want to give it? I do want to give it a nickname. Now, we've all chosen, in advance, nicknames for our Pokemon, so this won't be difficult. I've called my Charmander...
That's just so poor.
I love it. It's so good. And now Jack Ash will pick his Pokemon. He's going to take that. Also, I'd like to point out, guys, this is going to be the longest first episode ever.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
We're about half an hour in already.
Really?
No, I'm joking. I think
Yeah.
I had the time running from last time.
Nice.
Yep. So here we have our first instance of a Pokemon battle. Now, Pokemon battling is even more simple than Golden Sun if you've been watching that. It's incredibly, ridiculously simple on the surface. There's lots of numbers and mechanics going underneath, which we will do a bit of explaining about, but ultimately it's a case of rock, paper, scissors.
With, 7 different types.
With more than 7, with loads of different types that all are kind of interconnecting. But as Oak is explaining here, the idea is to basically reduce the opponent's HP to 0 by hitting it with attacking moves without yourself being reduced to 0 by them. And this is the slowest text. Oh, yeah. Okay. Try and see for ourselves. So, excuse me. Charmander at the start has only Scratch, which is an attacking move. I think it has 35 power, which is fairly low, and Growl, which will lower your opponent's attack. standard tactics, let's just spam the attack button. As I said,
That's what all good trainers do.
pretty much. And he's going to use tail whip, going to lower our defense. I mean, I generally say that moves that are only going to lower the opponent's stats by 1 point, as, you know, tail whip or growl or moves of that effect will do, there's generally not much point to them, because you may as well just have used like 2 attacks for the turn it took you to use 1 move. I don't know, I mean, there is some merit to them, but as we can see, unless it's squared to critical hit or I miss,
It is possible to lose.
it is possible to lose. We're not going to mention a certain event involving a Pokemon that's not in this generation. You may be lucky enough to see that reenacted at some point.
Potions. What potions?
What are potions? Healing. Excellent. You see, we're the greatest trainer ever already.
God, that didn't take long. Does that mean we're done?
Pretty much. Excellent music plays for about 3 seconds. Anyway, so I have no
Speed
idea
tech.
where we are. That is a good point. Start menu here, open by pressing start. Pokemon, there's our Pokemon. We can check out its summary. We can see here it's got a bashful nature, which if you're playing kind of the meta game, will make a difference to you. Just for this playthrough, I'm not really too bothered. We can see there its stats. So Charmander has decent attack, decent special attack, which attack will govern physical attacks, of which normal is a physical attack. Special attack covers special attacks, of which fire will be, because obviously he is a fire type. Defense affects how much damage you take from physical attacks, special defense damage from special attacks, and speed is turn order. So it's, you know, nothing too difficult. And we can see on there his experience points. That's how far he gets to the next level. As you level up, your stats increase, and you might learn new moves. You might even evolve. So
we're not going to explain like natures. I don't know. Is it a bit?
it's a bit early, I'd
It's a bit
say.
effort.
Effort. Andy doesn't even understand natures.
Yeah.
It's my bad.
Oh dear.
Fast, balancing on, yep, that's good. Right. Onwards. I just explained that. Excellent. Right, here on Route 1. Now, as I said before, we're going to be trying to give out bios of various Pokemon we can run into on these routes. Now, I have, if you'll believe it, done a bit of work and pre-allocated Pokemon for the 2 of these 2 to explain as I play. Whether or not they can do a decent job of it remains to be seen.
It is dumb.
So,
Yeah, doubtful.
who's first on the block?
Ah, beautiful. We have encountered a Rattata,
What is a Rattata, Andy?
the pink mouse.
It's purple.
Yeah, that's one too. Anyway, it's alright actually. It's not a bad Pokemon to start with, especially in the beginning game. It evolves
Yeah.
quite early into Raticate, which is pretty good for when you have it, but it does get outpowered towards the later game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rattata's it's not bad.
Yeah, what I mean, types, you know,
Normal. It's a normal type, I guess.
it's just a normal type.
Oh,
Yeah.
it has guess.
It's pretty much the most foddery. It's pretty much the like here you run into the single most common Pokemon in the game. There it is again. You see, the thing about Rattata is actually it's not too bad. It learns some decent moves like Hyper Fang and Super Fang are pretty good. It learns them fairly early, levels up pretty fast, and it's got a decent speed. So
You can also fear it up.
Clear it up.
Yeah.
yeah, episode 1. Let's explain what fear is.
We'll come back to that later when
yeah.
we find another Rattata.
A hyper broken online multiplayer strategy. Excellent. And we have a fire type move. So Kasabian, I'm going to just calling him Kasabian, not Charmander, now has both a physical attack and a special attack. And the thing about having a fire type move now means that if we find a Pokemon that is weak to fire, we'll be able to do super effective damage, which is 2 times damage, which will be lovely. You have a Pokemon Center, they always have red roofs, they're in every town. You can heal your Pokemon for free, entirely restoring HP and MP. MP? PP. Good grief.
And it restores status ailment.
Does also restore status elements, thank you Andy. Yeah.
Helpful insight.
That was actually.
I'm being outdone.
You are being outdone. You just take
Need to
your
raise
game up.
my game.
You should raise your game.
Let's break into the EV trading.
Would not.
No, I'm really good at this bit because I'll start a game and then not continue it.
Excellent. Right. We've got Oak's Parcel, which we would have gone told. If we tried to go up further, we'd have been blocked off by the grumpy dude up here. There he is, lying on the floor. He had told us to basically clear off. So we take Oak's Parcel back to Professor Oak. So in fact, we've just done pretty much the most pointless trip in the world. Hop over these. We did level up a couple of times. It wasn't completely worthless. You can hop over these one-way barriers. Makes your route quicker. Don't have to run too many wild Pokemon. There we go. Right.
I always run into Pokemon there. It's like the most...
Last space.
Like, oh, I can't find a Pokemon in the next
The last melon. Oh, Orc. We're talented. See that? We are the best.
See, Gary doesn't have to do these errand boy missions.
He's not called Gary.
Family favoritism.
Jackash.
Jack. I have a request for you two. I have to say, compared to Golden Sun, this is the quickest intro to a game ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you spent half of Golden Sun on mute, just sort of like... Yeah,
not saying.
next.
I know, it makes me really sad, because I'm determined not to just, like, read the text. Like, when a wild Pokemon appears, it's fair game. I'm not going to do that.
It's fair game.
Oh. Here we're being given our ultimate goal, which is to catch all the Pokemon. You know, Q theme song. Excellent. We're not going to be catching all the Pokemon. Mainly because we can't. It's an emulator.
And we don't have the time.
And we don't have the time or the cares. We are, however, going to be doing, hopefully, a pretty extensive guide to everything there is in Pokemon Leaf Green, and ultimately, entertaining you and entertaining ourselves. That is the objective. Anyway, with that, I think it's an excellent place to end Episode 1. There's more to
Haven't even
come.
got the running shoes.
No, you don't get the running shoes till Pewter City. Quiet, you.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
really.
allow that.
Perhaps there won't be an Episode 2. Thank you very much for watching this. If you enjoyed it, drop us a comment, give us a like. I won't ask you to subscribe. I really don't care. Let's just see, you know, if you liked it, liked it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. You know, tell us if there's anything we can do to improve it. Is our banter horrible?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes, it probably is. Anyway, with that, I'm a Skeptical Gamer. You are...
Orc.
Excellent. I'm a Skeptical Gamer. He's Kai. He's Andrew. And this was Pokemon Leaf Green. Thank you for watching.